Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to the hills of Fuji, Japan for round number 6 of the Esports Drift Association presented by Traxion. My name is Keenan Kuzin, joined in the booth by Strix, Pulsatrix, and Hayden Rigsby, and Joe Pirro. Joe had a heck of a day qualifying yesterday, and the local man, which makes it sound like I'm saying Florida man, but the local man, Masashi Yoshida, taking the top step of the podium yesterday in qualifying.
That is correct, and what a run did he have. That run will be judged today by Harold McKinney, a judge formerly known as Brady, and Wes Johnson coming in from VDS, celebrity guest judge, Keenan.
Yeah,
as we find ourselves traveling north from New Zealand, they put us in a box. It was really disorienting. This time they gave us food at least, Keenan.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the already crushed up bits of cracker that they gave us. It was really delicious. Held me over for the 14-hour flight over here to Japan and Fuji Speedway. Again, if you are familiar with any sort of motorsport, especially drifting, you should be familiar with this facility, but maybe not this section. So this is Sector 3 of the Grand Prix course run, for once, not backwards. So all of this is uphill. Because it's uphill, you're going to see something here, ladies and gentlemen. If you did not watch qualifying yesterday, there are no slowdown zones at all whatsoever. And it looks like a fast track with a bunch of different changing speeds, and it is, but because of that uphill requirement, the car gets slowed down very, very easily by itself. So there's not a whole lot of slowdown zones. Hot spots to talk about today as well are going to be that first touch and go, outer zone number 1 where the wall is, and as well, outer zone number 2. A lot of drivers were struggling yesterday being able to get out to that outer zone with angle and a nice set of speeds. So we'll be able to see if they can continue on today, because battles and qualifying are two very different beasts.
Oh, that is for sure. And speaking of qualifying, let's take a look at our number 1 qualifier, Masashi Yoshida, taking us through a run of this track, Keenan. It is just full commitment, and Masashi in this gorgeous E36 wagon. So at the start of the run, we do have our initiation zone and our restart lines per usual, which we will touch on later. But first, we have to touch that inside clip, then to an outside clip. Big transition, and this is where we see a lot of drivers using a lot of left foot brake to get really close to that wall, and then again to that inside clip, and then another large transition. We saw a lot of drivers here dropping tires, and there was an issue even where we're going fast enough now, Keenan, that desync might be an issue in Assetto Corsa.
Yeah, I mean, you never thought we'd see the day, right? Again, once again, thank you to Vosan presenting the number 1 qualifier video for the broadcast today, and our usual driver Steven Loxton not available for the rest of the season. Again, I hope we're doing well, Steven. But if you've never watched any competitive drifting before, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ESDA, welcome to Traxion, first of all. And secondly, if you've never watched competitive drifting before, all these drivers are going to compete head-to-head, and each battle will consist of 2 runs. The higher-seeded driver leads in the first run, and the lower-seeded driver chases the first one. They will switch it up for that second run. There are 3 judges that we've already talked about. That would be Wes, Brady, and Harold that will be judging these runs, and if they deem it's too close to call, or there is a split decision, they're going to go one more time.
And you might be wondering, how do they decide what those 3 decisions are? What's the criteria? Well, when you're leading, it's completely different than when you're chasing. So when you're leading, you're trying to run the closest line to what the judges have determined to be a perfect run. The closer you are, the better you are. Make sure it's as chaseable as possible. So you just have a lot of angle, not slowing down as much outside of where it's designated, which on this map, we must remind ourselves, is nowhere. But then the chase driver has to come in and follow the lead driver and mimic the lead driver as closely as possible. So just be the shadow of that lead driver, basically. Make sure to stay out of the way during transitions. All of these different things will, if you get it right, Keenan, you're gonna take the win and move on.
Yeah, again, it's a very different style of competition. If you've only been familiar, if you're only familiar with stuff like sim racing, it's very, very different. So, ladies and gentlemen, these guys are not just driving. These drivers are not just driving for fun, not just driving for the glory of winning one of the best competitions in sim drifting, but they are winning or racing for a bunch of different gifts.
There we are, lined up, ready to go. Masashi Yoshida here in that LS E36, and you know what, Keenan, I gotta say, I'm rather partial to that car, just being primer black.
I love that it's the least Japanese looking car on the grid, literally driven by a Japanese man.
Yes.
I really appreciate I don't know if it's intentional irony there, but love Masashi. I'm so stoked he was able to get #1 yesterday, even just as a fan. He's been doing so much better again, super dominant in his home region of Japan, but finally showing up on the worldwide stage, getting 3rd place last round at Taratanga Park in New Zealand, and then we come over here to Japan, he puts it to top of the board. What can he do with that #1 qualifier point, Joe? We are about to find out as the first run of ESDA round number 6 for Fuji starts now.
And here we go, both drivers throwing it in. Masashi with a beautiful angle. Gregory Andreev kind of looking where to go. Caught with his pants a little bit down on the initiation, because man, does Masashi Yoshida have huge angle from top to bottom so far. If he can put together a second half of a run, that E36 looks like it is on form to take a win today, not just of this battle, but of the entire day, dare I say it, because Gregory Andreev, rarely would you say that a wagon walked a Ferrari, but Keenan, I stuffing a car into the door of that Ferrari and making it not look awkward in the chase, because sometimes when there is this big of a speed differential, that's kind of your concern now that you have to chase. So let's see how he handles it here as the lights are out.
Run number 2 starting now. Our next level racing group #1, Gregory Andreev against your #1 qualifier, Masashi Yoshida. A little bit of an early entry from Andreev, but Masashi will not be phased. Gets on the power right on the door of the Ferrari, and he spins. And that's going to be a quick one, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be one that we already have to give a battle to the judges here now, unfortunately. Going to power out the rest of the run is Masashi Yoshida and Andreev, but Joe, I don't know if you saw something I didn't see there, but it looked like to me that, boy, and be blind. I really want Yoshida to do well. So I think it could very well just be an idiot and not know what I'm talking about.
But we do have a call-in, and our judges did look at the inputs, everything else, and I think they have deemed that there was space between the drivers. So I think we'll know how these are going to slide. We're going to slide them left for Masashi Yoshida, slide them right for Gregory Andreev, keep them in the middle for an OMT. And we do have a unanimous decision for Masashi Yoshida. They did see some gap there. So I think that Gregory just overcooked it.
Yeah.
Such a shame.
I mean, honestly, I think if there was contact there at all, it was because of the line that on John in the playoffs, but we're back to a more traditional format here for ESDA this season. It's only 20-something at the points, so he needs a good, strong day today to make himself safe for pro contention next year. Another person trying to do that as well, though, is Matash Kalin.
That is correct. And Matash Kalin with that really low and wide A90. It looks great. And Zach with that kind of monster trucky A80. It's a battle of 2 styles here. Let's see what happens as Matash Kalin, very great line through corner #1. But Zach O'Sullivan tucking right onto that Mark V Supra's door. Maybe a little bit of a gap from Matash as he settles that car in right along the wall and through this final transition, putting one tire right on the line, keeping it on the track with Zach O'Sullivan right there. A little bit of a correction, making sure he doesn't make contact, and across the line, both drivers as a...
I'm glad we both got that joke. I'm glad we both...
And here we go, lights out, and away we go.
Yeah, but no joke is this second run here from Zach O'Sullivan in the lead, Matash Kalin in the chase. In the DDS Supra, Zach O'Sullivan pouring it on very early, nice and fluid with the angle in the JSI Mark IV Supra, but right on the door is Matash Kalin. Can he keep this up for the whole run, though? We're going to expect to see guys close between these first 2 inner clips, but they got to be able to keep it there. Not a whole lot of angle from this chase vehicle right now. He's really struggling to be able to keep up with Zach and stay on the ideal line. Not a bad chase run in terms of proximity, but yeah, left for Matash Kalin, on right for Zach O'Sullivan. It is going to be unanimous. Zach O'Sullivan going to be moving on into the top 16 to face Masashi Yoshida in our next level racing group #1. I really think it came down to the quality of the chases. The leads look pretty similar. Again, this is your number 16, number 17 qualifier. The leads should look pretty similar. Our judges both saying just more speed, better line, less grid.
I must say that S14 of Artem is just mean looking with that spoiler, and I'm a sucker for Camaro, even though you can't see out of them. But let's see what happens here as Artem Lukashenko is going to lead Jarrett Shortle, and away they go through the line. No slouch in that Camaro, sticking it right on that S14's bumper through initiation. Let's see if Jarrett Shortle can suck right on up to Lukashenko's door as they go through that first outside clip. Coming into the wall, Artem Lukashenko, great angle, but Jarrett Shortle right there on that door. This is an amazing chase from that Slide Cultures Camaro as we go through our second to last outside zone. And again, Jared Shortle just always steaming up to that door after every transition. That was a very...
Doing that, they're not just being silly.
That's
okay,
amazing.
Understood. I'll explain it in a minute. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Artem Mashushenko in the chase. Jarrett Shortle in the lead. Jarrett in the Slide Culture Camaro. Nice to see him back in competition. But Artem Mashushenko trying to put a little bit more black paint on that black and white Camaro. A little bit of a correction from Artem in the chase. Coming out to the first touch and go. Outer zone number 1, though, right to the door on that Camaro. Maybe a little bit of contact to that Camaro. But because that's such a big, wide boy, it's not going to affect him very much. Good flick on the second to last outer zone. Good rate to angle. But Artem Mashushenko is right there on the door of Jarrett Shortle. A couple little corrections in change. We are only on our third or fourth battle. We still have Jack Lai and William Holloway to come out in this top 32. And your only 2 members of the top 16 so far are Masashi Yoshida, your number 1 qualifier, and Zach O'Sullivan. We're still waiting to find out who will be moving on, but we do have a call here, Joe.
Yes, we do, as race control is giving us the cane off the stage here, as we'll slide him left for Artem Lukashenko, slide him right for Jarrett Shortle, keep him in the middle for an OMT. As Dai votes for an OMT, Brady slides it right for Jarrett Shortle. And then Wes chases Brady, and Jarrett Shortle takes the win, moving on. And I have a note here that got passed to me that there was a big correction and almost a straighten contact in the chase.
So Jack Lai going to be in that super brand new livery on that vehicle for Jack Lai, and then chasing is William Holloway. Been struggling with his car a little bit in the back half of the season, but it looked like he's at least got it figured out for today here at Fuji Speedway. Only one of them can move on, though. Here we go.
Lights out, away we go. Jack Lai in that super big aggressive initiation. William Holloway tucking right up onto his door by that first inside clip, but it does seem like Jack Lai might just have a little bit more speed at the same amount of angle. Coming on through, it seems William Holloway might be struggling a little bit for torque or something, as Jack Lai's super, again, is just consistently, that's where Jack Lai's big mistake is, dropping tires, but William Holloway, again, dropping tires, trying to catch up. Overall, it seems like Jack Lai might just have a way fast car underneath him today, because Jack Lai is not bulletproof. He did drop some tires during his lead, so if William Holloway has a very clean lead run and forces Jack Lai into an error, he might be able to take a win and take on Jarrett Shortle in the top 16.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Leading in the Kamohen Racing RX-8, it's William Holloway chasing in the Ascent Supra. Jack Lai midline for Jack. Not quite sure he was going there, but William's going to be able to pull away right here with this line. Jack Lai having to adjust. Good job in adjusting. It looks like he's to the door now. Great job on the outer zone from William Holloway, getting a heck of a lead run in right now, while Jack Lai seems to be doing the exact same thing that Holloway did in his chase, just a little bit closer. No correction here for Jack Lai. Oh, big correction though for William Holloway.
That looked like a bump.
I was gonna say it didn't look like they hit on screen, but there could have been some. It could have been a technical issue. It looked like maybe the wheel had turned off or something. Well, I'll see if we can get some clarification on there. But we do have a winner.
And we'll slide it left for Jack Lai, slide it right for William Holloway. Keep it in the middle for an OMT. All 3 for Jack Lai taking the win. I'm assuming that the judges saw steering input or something. You know what I mean. We can also go back. We have full telemetry. It is also the wonderful world of the internet.
Yeah, I mean, I will see if we can get some clarification from the judges, because obviously they're the ones with the important. That really stinks to see him kind of bow out like that, but we'll see him back in round number 7.
As here we go, Masashi Yoshida leading Zach O'Sullivan. BMW on Toyota. Big angle here as Masashi Yoshida is looking bulletproof today, but Zach O'Sullivan is no slouch in this chase whatsoever, getting right on that E36's door as they go through that outside zone number 2, I want to say, and as we enter our second to last outside zone, Zach O'Sullivan right on that E36's door, keeping it all on the track, both drivers, and across the line, Zach O'Sullivan, he's like a middle schooler at a dance, leaving just Masashi Yoshida just hanging out. Everything's good today as we're lined up here. And again, I don't think any driver has to be nervous after this, and lights out and away we go.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Zach O'Sullivan turning on the jets already. Masashi Yoshida should have went for a reset there. Didn't take it. So let's see if he can close up. And he's already to the rear quarter panel of Zach O'Sullivan. Zach running for his gosh darn life right now, trying to get away from the Japanese driver, but right through the smoke line. Masashi Yoshida right to the door of Zach O'Sullivan. No fear in this driver. He wants to continue this Japanese win streak, and he wants to continue winning at home and doing it right now, right on the door, but not to take anything away from Zach O'Sullivan. Another calls. They're very confident.
They're knocking him up and laying him down here. We're going to slide him left for Masashi Yoshida, slide him right for Zach O'Sullivan, keep him in the middle for an OMT. 1 for Zach O'Sullivan. 2 for Zach O'Sullivan, and a unanimous decision for Zach O'Sullivan, upsetting our number 1 qualifier, Masashi Yoshida, moving on to our top 8 here in group number 1. But who will he go against? Number 9 seed, so he'll be leading Jarrett Shortle. So excited for this. And away we go. Jack Lai in that super fast Supra up against Jarrett Shortle in that Camaro, giving him no chill on the initiation. But Jack Lai is unfazed with a almost flawless line through that first corner. Jarrett Shortle, no slouch in that chase as they get into this wall through the outside zone. And again, both drivers doing almost exactly what they need to be doing. And again, let's see, do any tire drops? No, I cannot tap any of these drivers for anything big, except for now Jarrett Shortle catching up to that Supra. A little bit of a transition as he gets to the door to make sure that he doesn't really get any contact with both drivers.
Bracket if they can today for their 2023 berth.
As we're looking at this, yeah, Jack Lai sitting as a reserve driver right now for next season, but he is ready to go here in the battle as the lights out, and here we go.
Jack Lai in the chase, the team ascent Supra. Leading in the team slide culture Camaro is Jarrett Shortle. Not the best entry from Jack there, a little bit shallow, but used that to get right to the door of Jarrett. Now he's putting pressure on that Camaro. Great job on the wall from Jarrett Shortle, but Jack Lai right there in the chase. Gonna let the gap open just a little bit. It was a little bit too straight there. We'll have to see if that was a major deduction or anything from Jack Lai. Not the greatest run through the last corner either. Had the proximity, Joe, but he kind of choked up the angle a little bit. Not, I don't know why I'm yelling. Not the worst chase from Jack.
Will it be a Supra on Supra top 8, or will it be a Camaro coming in and unleashing some freedom? So slide him left for Jarrett Shortle, slide him right for Jack Lai, keep it in the middle for an OMT. As we have 1 for Jarrett Shortle, 2 for Jarrett Shortle securing the win, and a unanimous decision for Jarrett Shortle. I think Jack Lai has to be kicking himself, just throwing it away. That'll show how close qualifying was, too. It was not a large spread. It was a less than 10 points, top qualifier to lower qualifier, as lights out, as Zach O'Sullivan in the lead, Jarrett Shortle in the chase. 2 very great drivers today who are really tuned in. Great initiation from both drivers, as Zach O'Sullivan has very consistent angle through corner number 1, but Jarrett Shortle not being a slouch at all. A little bit of a correction in that chase as Zach O'Sullivan looks unflappable in that lead coming through. And this is where all of our drivers are dropping tires. But again, Zach O'Sullivan keeping it tidy, and Jarrett Shortle keeping it on the door, but maybe not as much angle as he wants. Maybe a little tap through that inside clip and across the line. I think Zach O'Sullivan's slight advantage.
Yep, Zach airing out the old Supra.
It's a good move. It's a good luck move, it seems so far.
Getting the tire smoke out of there.
I can't blame him at all. I cannot blame him at all.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Zach O'Sullivan in the chase and Jarrett Shortle in the lead. This is the second half of your final battle in group number 1. Flying by is group number 1. But both these cars flying down this track here at Fuji Speedway. The gap consistent right now from Zach, but that's what's gotten him this far. Jarrett into the wall. Jarrett taps the wall. That wall has its first victim of the day, but he stays in it. He's keeping it on the floor, hoping Zach makes some sort of mistake in the chase. But Zach O'Sullivan, the expert driver that he is, smells blood in the water, backs off, gives him all the room in the world. And ladies and gentlemen, I have to imagine, unless they're backwards, but both these guys stoked. Hey, look at me go. But yeah, it is going to be a unanimous decision, and your first finalist of your Traxion Final 4 is going to be Zach O'Sullivan for Team JSI. Just slide it. It's very stoked to be able to see him in an ESDA Final 4. You can see by the donuts he's throwing right now, I think he's stoked as well.
Oh, I would be
currently in the top 32 in points with only 46 points. He's qualified a few times, but has not gotten a top 32 win. So if he can get this W against Element, it is a big task, but it would be his first top 16. He'll play huge spoiler to the points and give himself a good berth to be able to make that top 32 and retain his pro license for 2023.
But here we are lined up for our first battle of our Moza Racing Group number 2, Alexander Element, who is leading our points currently and has been driving on form every single round, dare I say it, up against Emilio Orellana. And here we go, Ferrari on Nissan, one of the few motorsports where these two could compete on the same level. And Alexander Element, big angle, that Ferrari is looking very gripped up, right on target where he needs to be. And Emilio Orellana looking like he's struggling to keep up here, Keenan. And I must say that I am fearful now for Emilio in his second run, because it seems like Alexander Element is tuned in. I fear for anyone that's going to run up against that iconic blue and yellow Ferrari at this point, because man, again, it's all of his
props to Emilio for trying to stay on his line. He kind of over rotated there at the end, but if you get gapped that fast, you can't really try and catch up to him. You just got to go, well, this is going to happen now, and just put the car in all the zones and make sure you don't make any mistakes. So we'll see what happens here in the chase position.
I think that we're going to see Alexander Element. He's always been good in the chase, so let's see exactly how aggressive he is.
Yeah, Alex has costed himself before in the chase position, though, by being overly aggressive. So let's see what happens here. Good start for Emilio Orellana, the only Chilean driver in competition, followed by the Ukrainian Alexander Element, giving him just a little bit of room here, a little bit of lag, I think there, maybe just a bit of contact. You saw Element drop back, and now he's going to push back in. He's got the proximity. He could definitely get closer, but I think he's just leaving a little bit of space between himself and Orellana. He knows he doesn't have to be super aggressive, Joe. I think that may have been enough to seal the deal.
I think that it definitely... Slide him left for Alexander Element. Slide him right for Emilio Orellana. Keep him in the middle for an OMT. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3 for Alexander Element, moving on to our top 16 here. But who will he take on? Will it be another Ferrari, Keenan?
We're going to have to find out, ladies and gentlemen, as we...
Wow, and it was a very stylish lead run, and I think that it's going... We're about to see something very stylish happen here again.
Yeah, I mean...
oh my gosh, I drank too much Sprite, and sometimes you just burp a little bit, Keenan. Here we go.
Hate it when that happens. Curse you, McDonald's.
Curse you, McDonald's. As Roy Munoz in the lead. Artem Chukov in the chase, leaving a little bit of space. And here we go, Roy Munoz, a lot of grip. Artem Chukov having to unwind the car a little bit to stay behind that Supra, it seems like, as Roy Munoz seems unfazed by what's going on behind him. A very textbook lead run, keeping it on the track, and Artem Chukov looking shaky, a little bit inconsistent in this chase. And across the line, if I'm Artem Chukov, I'm a little bit scared right now what the deal was, but I think it'll all become revealed quickly here, as it does seem like Roy Munoz is starting back a little bit.
Yeah, gonna go for that run. Oh, as I say that, he's getting gapped just a little bit by Artem Chukov. We'll see he's able to close it up. Again, Artem in the lead, Roy in the chase. Roy gonna give him the respect, I think, a little bit right now, as Artem just kind of setting sail in the lead position. Roy slowly trying to catch up. Does a great job of just getting that outer zone and going a little bit shallow to try to catch that. Oh, big correction for Roy Munoz in the chase. It was, I think, going the way of Munoz there, but that big correction is going to put the OMT on the table, and especially with the separation between those two drivers. Again, when you go chase for chase, Artem was able to get that proximity to the last, but we do have a decision here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, we do. We'll side him left for Roy Munoz, side him right for Artem Chukov. Keep in the middle for what we call OMT territory one more time, and let's see what our judges think. 1, 2 for an OMT, and 3 for an OMT. All judges saying that every single mistake ended up balancing out. They would like to see that battle again. So I'm sure both drivers are thinking, if I can just not make that one mistake, if I can just be that little bit closer, I can secure a win and go up against Alexander Element.
Yeah, again, it could be Ferrari versus Ferrari, or it could be
his first chase from Artem Chukov. I think he has it in him, so let's see what happens here as we are getting revs from our drivers. Everyone's excited, and we are going. Artem Chukov getting a little bit of a jump, which he's allowed to do to make sure he is good and close on the initiation, which he's taking full advantage of. Roy Munoz putting all of the angle into that Supra as Artem Chukov puts it right on that Supra's door through the first transition, and let's see here as that Ferrari is bumping the Supra just a little bit, but Roy Munoz with a very great line up through that outside zone through the final transition. Roy keeping it on the track, but Artem keeping it pretty close. He definitely cleaned up that chase and gained a little bit of proximity. And I think Roy Munoz, though, had another textbook lead run, and now that Supra a little bit, hoping for a few. Oh, this is amazing. I think Roy Munoz is going to throw it into this initiation. He's not going to get gapped a second time here.
Yeah, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Run number 2 of this OMT battle. Roy Munoz, team is sent in the chase. Artem Chilkov, the Drift Sundays machine, in the lead position. Maybe a little early from Artem, but he makes it work. Roy, he straightens out just a little bit in the lead position. Roy already was going to get gapped, and it's just going to make it worse. Uses that proximity on the outer zone to catch up, but again, Artem Chilkov, it seems whenever the track just straightens out a little bit, he finds another gear and just pulls away, but Roy with the big surge there had to get out of it. He's taking some angle out of that Supra to make sure that Artem does not pull away. Kind of a messy lead and a messy chase run.
We got to remind ourselves here. As we'll slide him left for Roy Munoz, slide him right for Artem Chukov, keep him in the middle for another OMT. 1 for Roy, 2 for Roy securing win, 3 for Roy Munoz moving on. Take on Alexander Element. And a quote from one of our judges, the most gangster entry so far today from Roy.
It was a really aggressive flick. Love to see that. But we'll see if he can get a good run in tournament today. He won't have to stress going into the last round. Samuel Kuti, one of those guys that's 11th right now. He's got his pro license for next season. He's just taking a victory lap, see if he can make the top 10 in points. So not as much on the line for Kuti, but a lot for Isayev as he leads this first run.
And here we go, Vitaly Isayev in the lead, huge flick entry, and Samuel Kuti not as much angle trying to catch up. And if there's something I know about Vitaly, he is fast, doesn't matter what car you put him in, and he has big angle right up against the wall. Very, very smooth lead run. He is definitely listening to what the judges said they wanted from that last run, cutting on in, big angle, big power, and across the line. Samuel Kuti looking like he was caught a little off guard with how fast that
making that car work both with show and go, it looks like. But we'll see what he can do in the chase position here. Second run of this battle. Samuel Kuti to Scuba Drift Family 836 BMW in the lead. The Czech driver taking a great initiation as Vitaly Isayev, the Ukrainian, in chase. Not really getting the best initiation is Isayev, but he's got all the time in the world to reset. As we said, this first outer zone is a really good place to do that, and you see the proximity he's putting on in this chase position as Kuti tries to turn on the jets. Oh, big correction from Samuel there. No angle through that outer zone, and that causes the gap to open. Great job from Isayev to just kind of run his line and not get phased by that and actually gain ground as Kuti recovered from that mistake.
Left for Vitaly Isayev, we'll slide it right for Samuel Kuti. We'll keep it in the middle for an OMT and see who moves on to our top 16 here. 1 for Vitaly, 2 for Vitaly securing the win, and 3 a unanimous decision for Vitaly Isayev moving on. But who will he battle? Keenan, I think a lot of people in chat will be happy to see this next battle.
Try to overheat the rear tire, maybe put some extra air pressure in to take some grip out of that car, especially in the lead position. I think that would pay off for him.
Maybe just get as much speed underneath him as possible, as much grip as he possibly can on a track like this. And here we go. We do have a battle. Uh-oh, there was contact on that initiation, and generally that will go on the fault of the chase driver. So Martins Ostraka might be sweating a little bit now as Adriel Machado seems unfazed whatsoever with a very, very clean lead run coming on through. Let's see if he keeps it on the track, and he does. Martins Ostraka throwing that S15 at that Mustang. I think the writing might be on the wall here for Martinez before even the first run is over.
Who?
As the Ostrakas both are. All of the IRTA drivers are on their initiations especially, and it's caught a few of them out before, and maybe we might start seeing all of the IRTA guys give a little bit more space.
You don't have to worry about that right now, as Martinez Ostreca's got all the room in the world as he is leading with Adriel Machado giving chase. He tries to give him a little bit of the gap and then sucks up right to the door. Really weird slowdown from Martinez Ostreca there. Not quite sure what happened, but Adriel Machado in the chase position, trying not to let that Team IRTA E46, that Team IRTA S15 pull away. Good transition there by Ostreca, filling all of that zone, but Machado trying to put as much pressure on in the chase as he can. Unfortunately, Joe, I don't think anything in that run.
Machado slide him right for Martinez Ostreca, or keep him in the middle for an OMT and have him run again. As Dye votes for an OMT, Brady votes for an OMT, and Wes for an OMT. So unanimous one more time, and the judges.
If he wants to move on, he's got to earn it, but he looking like he can do that today.
And here we go, as Martinez Ostreca starting way back, hoping to get a good run, avoid the mistake that he had last run. There we go. No drama now, is Adriel Machado looking gorgeous in that initiation, and Martinez Ostreca kind of cutting his line to try and keep up to that Mustang. Maybe doing that grip dance before the run really is paying off for Adriel Machado. Confident as anything, not even looking like he's worried about an OMT, just coming in. Both drivers right on the line now. Martinez Ostreca on Adriel's door. That's such a great run from both drivers.
Yeah, some small mistakes from
as Adriel Machado starting so far back, and here we go.
Adriel Machado driving out of Brazil in the chase in the Mustang, leading from Lithuania will be Martinez Ostreca for Team IRTA. Oh, Machado basically made the same mistake again. He's going to lose the front end and cause contact with Martinez Ostreca. Run over. It is done, and this is just for you guys watching at home now. That is unfortunate. So what I've seen a lot of people doing here today, Joe, and I think what just happened is they fall into the trap of entering shallow to try to not let the lead car pull away.
Yes. And I think that was kind of smooth, so we do have a call here. We're going to slide him left for Adriel Machado, slide it right for Martinez Ostreca, keep it in the middle for an OMT, and let's see what happens here. 1 for Martinez Ostreca. 2 and 3 for Martinez Ostreca, taking down Adriel Machado in an OMT by the skin of his teeth, and he will be taking on Vitaly Zayev in the next run. But first,
in the podium, ask one of these guys why tire heating was a little bit more important today. But to get there, we still have so much more drifting action left for you. Roy Munoz going up against Alexander Element. Big championship implications here.
As here we go, Alexander Element in the lead, Roy Munoz in the chase. And here we go. Big initiation from both drivers, but Alexander Element, that Ferrari just always is just perfect for him, as Roy Munoz is left standing in the dust, fighting to catch on up. But it seems like Alexander Element always has just a little bit more speed in him on this track today. And I think he is on form to see that top 4 spot, but Roy Munoz is fighting his best, being very smooth in that chase, but it seems like he might just have not enough grip. As we go across the line, and at Super, I think this might be a very easy win for him. I hate to see it, and I hate to count someone out, but Alexander Element's looking very on form today. I've seen him drive very well, but I don't think I've seen him drive this consistently at any event, and let's see if that remains true.
Yeah, Roy not getting the best start either is really going to hamper his chances. Alexander Element in the chase position here now. Roy, great initiation there. Big angle from the Team Ascent Supra, but Alex Element right there in the chase. Actually, Roy opening the gap up a little bit, but Alexander Element just getting back on the power, closing that distance in between the two vehicles. Nice job on the outer line there for Roy. Set himself up for the last outers, second to last outer zone number 2. But Alexander Element right there with him. Let me like to see a little bit more angle from Roy Munoz on the last inner clip. But Joe, like I said, I don't, jokes aside, it's cool to see the excitement, cool to see the passion for sim drifting, the passion for drifting as we wait for a call here. I think we do have one.
And here we go. Slide him left for Alexander Element, slide him right for Roy Munoz. Keep in the middle for an OMT. 1, 2, and 3 for Alexander Element, moving on to battle in our top 8 here. But who will he battle? It'll be an S15, I'll tell you that much. So it'll be Vitaly Zayev up against Martinez Ostreka.
He's got a mountain to climb in Martinez Ostreka, who just got out of a war with Adrian Machado. So he's going to be carrying that momentum for the rest of the competition.
And here we go. I think Vitaly Zayev, he's been trying to put a perfect weekend together, and today it seems like if he stays out of his way, he can go pretty far. He's already, I think that if memory serves, this might be as far as he's gotten so far, but let's see here as he goes on to take on Martinez Ostreka. Big angle, and Martinez not learning his lesson, getting all up in Vitaly's business during that initiation through the first transition, putting it right on that white S15's door. Again, matching angle, Vitaly, a very clean and consistent lead run. Big angle again. Cutting in very close, great proximity from Martinez Ostreka, but Vitaly Zayev, no fear at all in that lead. Looks like he's been fighting his car all day. So let's see if he can wrangle that car for a run and really put some barn burner in, maybe put a little bit of daylight between the two cars. I don't see how he's going to claw back on this one.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Run number 2. Vitaly Zayev sitting on an advantage. Let's see how aggressive he gets in his initiation. Martinez Ostreka going to throw it all at the wall and see what sticks here. Round number 6 from Fuji Speedway. Look at the proximity already from Vitaly Zayev. We haven't seen anyone get that close. The gap is going to open a little bit after the touch and go, but back to the door of that Urta Esports S15 in this all S15 battle. The Blum machine of Chem, of Vitaly Zayev, trying to be able to bid his way further in this competition, but look at the angle from the, oh, one tire off though from Vitaly Zayev. That could really play into the judge's hands again. Oops.
As we're going to slide it left for Vitaly Zayev, slide it right for Martinez Ostreka, keep it in the middle for an OMT. 1, 2, and a unanimous decision for Vitaly Zayev, moving on to battle Alexander Element in the top 8 here. Vitaly Zayev, I'm sure, has a big...
Only one of them can make it into your Traxion Final Four.
That is the truth. And Vitaly starting back a little bit, getting a huge run up, knowing he has to get a lot of speed to keep up with that Ferrari of Alexander Element. Big initiation from both drivers. Vitaly slowly reeling in that Ferrari. Great angle in the chase, but even better angle in the lead through the transition. Both drivers definitely feeling each other out. Getting huge angle up against the wall, looking like both drivers could almost hit it, but they do not. Keeping it on the track, and here we go. Are there drops? Yes, there are from both drivers, I think. And through the final inside clip, Vitaly learning his lesson, not dropping tire on the inside. And across the line, Keenan.
Little correction.
That is for sure. So now the turntables are turned, and it seems like Alexander Element also is fearful of that S15. Oh my gosh, I am so excited to see this battle. I bet we're gonna see heroes or zeros.
Alexander Element trying to make sure he wraps up the championship today, and Cam Vitaly Zayev trying to get the run of his life right now. Not sure what happened there, but big separation from Alexander Element, and Vitaly Zayev. Element's going to completely miss the touch and go, moving into outer zone number 1, but right to the door of that S15. Big angle from Cam right now in the Vitaly Zayev in the lead machine. Big straightening from Alexander Element in the chase too. I'm not sure if that was a full straighten, but definitely did not go lock to lock. Aggressive transition like we've seen from him the rest of the day. Vitaly Zayev may have just upset your championship leader. I think the fact it's even going to judging is something that he can hold his head up high with.
So we're going to slide it left for our number 4 seed, Alexander Element. Slide it right for Vitaly Zayev. In the middle for nothing. And 1 for Vitaly, 2 for Vitaly, and a unanimous decision for Vitaly Zayev, moving on to our final 4. Oh my gosh.
That is absolutely, you see him doing the donuts right there. That is a huge one of those IR drivers that is represented in real life drifting team IRT, the Olibet machines driving in the Lithuania series, I believe is maybe Drift Masters as well, but definitely Lithuania. Hugo Black driving out of Brazil. Let's see what happens first run of this group.
And here we go. Daniel Andreev in the lead. Hugo Black in the chase. A little bit funky of an initiation between the two drivers, but they worked it out as Daniel Andreev, very smooth, confident, and fast lead run as we would expect from our number 2 seed. But Hugo Black, no slouch at all. putting it right up on that S15. And here has been do or die. A lot of drivers dropping tires here, but neither driver doing so, as Hugo Black clawing, trying for any proximity to get up to that super fast S15 of Daniel Andrejev. But overall, both drivers, no major mistakes. So both drivers needing...
I was going to say, reminder, the cutoff score yesterday was an 89. So not a low score at all, but that's just to show you what the quality of driving is this year in ESDA. And Daniel Andrejev in the chase position now, gets a little bit close and backs off, maybe missing a little bit of that inner clip. Don't really hear him on the power as Hugo Black putting in a super strong lead so far. Great job on the wall from Hugo, good angle. Andrejev just not looking comfortable yet in the chase. We're going to see if he can put a pressure on the door here. Gets the angle, but doesn't quite have that proximity, nudges in. Joe, every time he got close, it looks like he had to sacrifice something to do it. Maybe Hugo's got more speed in the arc save than he was letting on.
As they're doing donuts, I support it. We'll slide it left for Daniel Andrejev, slide it right for Hugo Black. Keep it in the middle for an OMT. As we have one for OMT. Brady votes for Hugo Black. West goes for Hugo Black as well, moving him onto our top 16.
Look who's got a big brain. It's me.
And here we go. That's your problem. I'm just gonna.
I was waiting for the brain to think of a joke to finish that sentence, and unfortunately, we didn't get there.
Sometimes you start a sentence without it ending. You know, it's just. I'm just saying. As here we go. Mikhail Morvanov in the lead. Mustafa Amin in the chase. Big aggressive initiation from both drivers, and Mustafa Amin tucking it right up on that R35's door through the first corner, cutting back a little bit to make sure that they transition safely, and again right back on the door. It's crazy how he has his transition angle and then he has his I'm on your door angle, and he's looking very strong today. But Mikhail Morvanov, no slouch at all with this lead, from allowing Mustafa Amin to do a chase like this and across the line.
What is going on? Magic on.
Yep.
Lewis Hamilton, eat your heart out.
Sometimes you just need it.
As we'll see what happens here, ladies and gentlemen. Mustafa Amin, number 2 in points, trying to keep this championship fight alive. Mikhail Morvanov in the chase position in the GTR. Mustafa, that's not going to work. How did he even keep that from spinning? Lots of left foot brake, I would assume, but what an entry from Mustafa Amin. I don't know if it's going to go over well with the judges, but wow, it sure did look cool. Best second half of the run here. Mikhail Morvanov doing his best to not run over the JX team driver of Mustafa Amin, but right on the door, he says, chase of the day, don't worry, I have something to answer for that. Wow, that initiation.
Yeah, exactly. As we do, let's put it on up. Slide it left for Mikhail Morvanov, slide it right for Mustafa Amin. Keep it in the middle for an OMT. 1, 2, and 3 for Mustafa Amin, winning the new Gangster Entry Award.
Man, if he can keep getting away with that today, he's going to be tough to beat. That was silly. I don't know how else to describe that. That was incredibly silly. Here we go. Again, this is not so important for the overall championship, but it could be important for the team championship. Erta Esports currently in control of that team championship.
There we go. And here we go. Big angle. I don't know why my camera is doing what it is doing, but here we go. And again, very, very clean through the first corner. And it does seem to me that Vaqueros is no slouch today, as Robert Kozinski hanging on. They're touching tire to tire. And coming through. And across the line again. Very, very clean run from Vaqueros Lucas. I don't know how he could do much better in chase.
Yeah, I think run just kind of speaking for itself there, Joe. So he's got to, here we go. Just got to put some pressure on in that chase position if he can get it done. Robert Krasinski in the chase position. The JX team is 370Z. Leading is going to be Vaqueros Lucas in the ketchup and mustard S14 Erta Esports machine. That's not a good start for Robert. hit one of the bumps, did not get the initiation he was looking for, but he smells blood on the door. Up that, what is going on with Robert Kwasinski running the door of Vaqueros Lucas? No fear from this JS team driver. I thought he was going in the door more than once. He is not afraid. Back on the door of Vaqueros Lucas, who is driving for Robert Kwasinski right now. What a second half of this battle.
And here we go.
Wow. Group
here, so we will slide him left for Robert Kwasinski, slide him right for Vaqueros Lucas, keep it in the middle for an OMT. As we're going 1 for Vaqueros Lucas, 2, and a unanimous decision for Vaqueros Lucas with just a crazy chase. I think he set a standard, but now the question, can Darius Ostreka take on Cameron Mustard to go against how his
competition?
And we are now lined up. So Darius Ostreka trying to go on and battle his teammate in Vaqueros Lucas, trying to have an all-yellow battle next. But first, he has to get through Cameron Mustard, who has been driving very well all season, just getting in by the skin of his teeth. And here we go. Ooh, already drama into that first inside clip. I don't think Cameron Mustard was ready for Ostreka's giant angle that he threw in there, as we know that S15 already can have. But Cameron Mustard settling in now, keeping it lined perfectly up in the chase, keeping the car on the track in the lead. And Cameron Mustard as close as he can get away with, fighting for everything, showing that he's here and he wants to go out and take out Vaqueros. Ooh, what a chase.
And you can watch this on Twitch, YouTube. You can catch the VOD once again on YouTube with any other of the rounds you may have missed this season. This is round number 6. We are so stoked to have this season be here. It's been going off so well, and we'll be able to see if this battle goes off well for Cameron Mustard, who's in the lead now, with Darius Ostreka in the chase. Cameron Mustard with the big initiation now. Darius Ostreka chasing that kind of a shallow line, but does not drop any tires, does not make contact. Misses the touch and go. Is Darius Ostreka. Cameron Mustard looking really good in this lead position right now. Big angle here on the second inner clip, but Darius Ostreka right there. I think he's going to wait till right about here to be able to put on that maximum pressure in the chase. Not really seeing it, actually. Gets him right there, but way too far inside for Darius Ostreka. There is an outer zone there. Tapioca. Yeah, man, that was awful.
Oh my God. We're just going crazy here.
That was awful.
But slide it left for Darius Ostreka, slide it right for Cameron Mustard, keep it in the middle for an OMT. 1 for an OMT. 1 for Darius Ostreka. And a second OMT, we will have them run again. So now Cameron Mustard better get locked down and ready to go.
I mean, both these guys were only sitting on small mistakes, Joe, so and I cannot wait to see this first run. Let's see if these guys can clean it up a little bit.
They're ready to get it going, too. Right back to the line. Darius Ostreka in lead. Cameron Mustard, I'm sure, is having a nice, long, deep breath and trying to avoid that initiation. And here we go. Will he make the same mistake twice? And I think no, as we come through now. Cameron Mustard is locked in and fighting, but Darius Ostreka, again, no slouch at all, and his issue wasn't in the whole first run.
Oh my God, Cameron Mustard!
As he comes on through, keeping it big at angle, dropping a tire ever so slightly, coming through that inside clip and across the line. Bro.
Wow, another one. Quack, quack.
Quack, quack. Let's get it going.
A wise man once said, shucky ducky, quack, quack.
Very interesting.
Shout out to Booker T. As here we go, Cameron Mustard in the lead position in the Jap Speed R32 chasing in the Urta Esports S15. Darius Ostreka, both these cars looking like a real-life battle here at Fuji. Ooh, a little bit of understeer from Darius Ostreka. Can he get it back together? He's trying his darndest, but Cameron Mustard had to have seen that in the rearview mirror, and now he knows it's time to go. Big angle from the Jap Speed, Max's tire R32. Darius Ostreka so far with no response to Cameron Mustard. Very shallow there once again, tire on the rumble strip. Ladies and gentlemen, these guys can fight forever. We may see them go 5-time OM time. That is the end of my Booker T judging call.
Yes, we do, and it is split. Again, slide it left for Darius Ostreka, slide it right for Cameron Mustard, keep it in the middle for an OMT. 1 OMT. 2 OMTs, 1 for Cameron Mustard. So we will go a third time, Keenan.
Man, I've never heard that before. That is holy moly. Quick look at the rule book, but I'm pretty confident in saying that there needs to be a winner in this battle. There will be no other OMT unless I'm just really wrong and silly.
And come on, drivers, make it a little easy for us, please. As we throw it on in here, Darius Ostrake, a big angle. Cameron Mustard keeping it right on his door, and I fear we might have another run of the same. Coming on through. And again, both drivers just are being really perfect. There might have been a little bit of a hang-up on that transition, as Cameron Mustard might have had his nose where it might not have needed to be. And across the line, again, no major drama, no major corrections.
Initiations, the last two battles he's done with Cameron, but I'm either fearing he's going to die or we might see download complete here. Either way, keep an eye on this Urta Esports Machine initiation, second run of this second OMT. There must be a winner. As I say that, actually, a little bit of an early initiation from Darius Ostraka keeps it nice and safe, maybe learning from his mistakes in the last two runs. Look at the angle from that lead car right across the bumper is Darius Ostraka, and to the door of the Jap Speed R32 is Darius Ostraka. All of that proximity in spades going a little bit shallow here. Gonna have to get on the footbrake, keeps the car sideways just and into the last inner clip. He's a little bit shallow again. Still on the door. Cameron throwing all the angle across the line. Whew, I'm exhausted. In a second OMT battle, absolute war between these two drivers, but only one can move on. Side and left for Darius Ostraka, side and right for Cameron Mustard. The winner of this absolute dogfight will be Darius Ostraka in the second OMT, taking out Cameron Mustard, but both of these guys are leaving with wounds. Joe, this was beyond close and one of the toughest fights we've seen all year.
I feel battered after that battle, Keenan, and I just watched it. That's all we ended up having to do. But up next, we can move on now. Hugo Black up against Mustafa.
Much left to go. Hugo Black is going to be chasing in the white machine. Leading in the black JX team machine is Mustafa Amin. Joe, here's the first run.
And here we go. Mustafa Amin, big, quick to angle. Hugo Black fighting to respond over and over. Just pushing as fast as he can in that RX-8. And I think it is a lot faster than he is letting on, especially with that lack of practice. Putting it right onto Mustafa's door. And coming on through, coming right across the line, and again, I think, oh my gosh, Hugo Black is in it to win it.
Hugo Black leaving some dents on the door of Mustafa Amin. Ladies and gentlemen, run number 2. The leg storm has cleared.
And here we go.
Hugo Black.
Go from Hugo Black. Sorry.
Hugo Black kind of shutting out a little bit, great big angle, but I don't know if he carried it through the inner clip as we move on into the fastest part of the course. But Mustafa Amin's going to be able to close. Look at the consistent proximity. Ooh, maybe dropping a little bit of speed there. I don't know what happened. He kind of just backed off a little bit, but he's going to have to surge in here again and end the run with that exclamation point and more contact. I think that leg storm isn't quite fully cleared up, Joe, because it didn't look like they were that close.
No, and they're a little bit shaky on my screen as well, but they...
They're going to reset the server here as well, because I guess they're just seeing issues. We'll see if we can get a fix on our side as well. Try not to stop the stream, because that's going to break the VOD up and mess a bunch of stuff up, but we'll see what we can do.
Here we go. So we'll slide it left for Hugo Black, slide it right for Mustafa. I mean, keep it in the middle for an OMT. 1 OMT, 2 and 3 not 3, 1 for Hugo Black. Man, I am... Group 3 is really taking a toll on us today, man.
Yeah, no kidding. We're not going to make it.
Oh my gosh, I'm just like...
With only Mustafa Amin in competition, if Mustafa goes deep, could make a run for P2 in the overall team points. But Urta, who's been so consistent this last half of the season, they're running away with it.
And here we go. Mustafa Amin in the lead, Hugo Black in the chase. Big snappy angle from Mustafa Amin. Hugo Black sneaking up as quickly as he can through the first transition, staying out of each other's ways, but Mustafa Amin is having a very, very dominant lead run. Hugo Black is keeping it close, but he's just being outshined by Mustafa Amin in this lead, as Mustafa does drop a tire, unfortunately. Coming through our final inside clip, Hugo Black is not going down without a fight at all, but I think Mustafa Amin is really hungry.
I mean, the right amount of breakfast, and you could turn me into a yogurt parfait, my friend.
Amazing.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Again, huge championship implications here. But Hugo Black in the lead, sitting on some mistakes. Mustafa Amin in the chase, sitting on some mistakes. Not a good start for Hugo Black. One tire up onto that curb. But Mustafa, there he is. I was like, is he waiting to attack? And I think he is. He knows turn one has been so polarizing today for that chase driver. It might just be safer to wait and put pressure on in the second half of the run. This is what we mean by Mustafa has just matured so much as a driver. Ooh, maybe one of the curb for Amin in the chase. I spoke a little bit too soon.
We'll slide him left for Hugo Black, slide him right for Mustafa Amin. Keep him in the middle for an OMT. Please don't keep him in the middle here, as we have a unanimous decision for Mustafa Amin moving on and taking on Darius Ostraka. Now this will be a battle, Keenan, as we are getting all of our yellow cars on the line, and then we will head back to our OMT battle.
Very Nico Bellic battle. Big fan of the yellow cars. As Vicaris Alukas will be chasing the S14 with the red markings and leading Darius Ostraka with the black markings. All IRTA battle here for run number one.
And here we go. Vicaris Alukas in the chase. Darius Ostraka, big angle in the lead. I'm going to have to keep checking my notes on who's who. It just keeps getting confusing in my head. But either way, both drivers going for it, as Vicaris Alukas maybe a hesitation, giving a tap to his teammate through that wall. Coming through to Is. Let's see if Darius keeps it on the track as he normally does. Vicaris Alukas is no slouch whatsoever and across the line.
You want to talk about guys who worked really hard to get here. It's both. The stream broke, the game broke, the server broke, and Joe broke. But we're back. Everything's back. But here we go again. Vicaris in the lead in the red striped machine. In the black striped machine, Darius Ostraka in the chase. Only one of these IRTA Esports machine drivers can move on. Big aggressive initiation from Darius Ostraka. That's caught him so many times today. But against his teammate, he's got to know exactly where he can put that S15. Right back on the door of Vicaris Alukas. And then Vicaris in the wall, but maybe a little bit of lag there. Hard to tell. And we're still having issues. But continuing on, both drivers. Let's see what happens. But Darius trying to not leave anything to chance, still putting big pressure on Vicaris, but Vicaris so much angle in that S14 in the lead. It's
Vicaris Alukas slide it right for Darius Ostraka. Keep him in the middle for an OMT. 1, 2, and 3. All the way to Darius Ostraka, moving on to our top 8, and he will now take on whoever wins this OMT battle between Hugo Black and Mustafa Amin.
Yeah, we are revisiting that. It looked, so on my screen, when I started stuttering, it's because Vicaris bumped the wall, disappeared, flew ahead like 10 feet, and then flew back.
Competition driver. Use your restarts.
It's something that I don't know if it exists in other series, but really needs to. It just kind of makes the battle a bit more fair as long as someone doesn't continuously cheese it. But haven't really seen that in ESDA. I don't think these are these kind of people. But
it's hard to abuse overall in general. But we are lined back up, and here we go. I hear that rotary two-stepping, and away we go. As Darius Ostraka in the lead, Mustafa Amin in the chase. Big angle from Darius Ostraka on the initiation. Mustafa Amin tucking that RX-8 right on up in the door. Honestly, this might be the hardest battle Mustafa's going to have all day, and he is definitely driving along, but very slow on that transition. Almost disappointing. That might be the linchpin for him. As we go through a second transition, Darius Ostraka keeping it on the track, not giving up anything to Mustafa Amin, who is having an otherwise perfect run besides one weird transition. And I gotta say, if I'm Mustafa Amin, I'd be kicking myself about just even such a small
on the exit of the last corner. So I think he's still got the advantage here, but it's very much still anyone's game.
I would have to agree with that as we are lined up here. And I think we're about to see a heater out of Mustafa Amin. He's going to go do or die. Leave it all on the table.
We've seen some gangster entry of the day is so far to Mustafa Amin. Let's see what he can do here. Darius Ostrenka not afraid to get close, though. Maybe not the most aggressive entry you've seen from Mustafa today, but all the angle and then some. Oh, Darius almost making the same mistake that Mustafa did. Maybe missing a little bit of that touch and go. Going into outer zone number 1. He's got all the pressure on in the chase. He needs to do that again. Not close to the point of where I think Darius has this win in the bag, but he's trying his best right now. Right on the door of Mustafa Amin. Could this blow the championship wide open? Is Darius Ostrenka sitting in his room right now doing the fingers and you Ladies and gentlemen, only one of these drivers can move on into your Traxion Final Four. Joe, who's it going to be?
We're going to slide it left for Mustafa Amin, slide it right for Darius Ostrenka. Keep it in the middle for an OMT in our final battle here of Group 3. 1 for Darius Ostrenka, 2 and 3 for Darius Ostrenka, moving on to our Final Four. So that is 3 out of 4 Final Four slots locked in, Keenan.
Yeah, I know. Ended up qualifying 3rd, I believe. Yep. 3rd place going up against Ernesto Jacobellis again. Had a broken hand in the last round. I don't know how healed that is now, but hopefully he's fighting at full power as he's going to need it to go up against Steven Jarbo.
I do have a feeling that he will be. It didn't seem to hurt him at all last round as here we go. Steven Jarbo in that giant R33 GTLM, the totally not rare drift car, as Ernesto Jacobellis behind him in that S14, getting right on up to his door, coming up against that outside zone through the wall, cutting on in. Good transition from both drivers, keeping it on the track, cutting into this inside clip, and then burning on it across the line. Good runs from both drivers, but I think overall, Steven Jarbo is looking a little bit more confidence out of the gate.
Like a lot, and that restart rule is one of them. It's helped so many battles that would have been lost in the first 200 feet get cleaned up, as this is the 2nd run now. Steven Jarbo in the chase. That restart almost not even helping him. Big separation already, but he goes a little bit shallow off the initiation, gets to the door of Ernesto Jacobellis, but he's got to stay there. Ernesto's nice and solid in the lead position. Not getting all of that outer zone was Jarbo, but he's using that to his advantage. All the proximity, maybe even a tap to Ernesto Jacobellis. Ernesto's maybe a tire off there on the 2nd outer zone, but Steven Jarbo trying to put as much pressure on that S14 in his R33 as possible. A bit of a shaky run for both. It is not unanimous.
No, it is not at all. As we will slide it left for Steven Jarbo, slide it right for Ernesto Jacobellis, and keep it in the middle for an OMT, and let's see where we find ourselves. As Dye slides it left for Steven Jarbo, Brady slides it right for Ernesto Jacobellis, and West slides it left for Steven Jarbo, securing him the win, moving him on to our top 16. And he will end up going up against whoever wins this next battle of Thwanwat Wongfusin up against Connor Christensen. 2 high style, high speed. First, we're gonna have Thunny the Honey in that gorgeous red.
Thun the number 1, baby. Let's go.
Let's go up against Connor Christensen. 2 very stylish drivers, and let's see what they have for each other as the lights are out. And here we are going past the restart line. Big angle for both drivers. Connor Christensen, notable always for his huge high commitment entries, getting it right on Thwanwat's door, but Thwanwat keeping the car under control. Very consistent, very conservative, but very smooth lead run from Thwanwat, hoping that Connor Christensen might just not have it all in the chase, but I don't think that's going to be the case. It doesn't seem like Thwanwat's able to walk away from Connor here. I think overall that this might be decided by our next battle, because both drivers did very well. Connor could have been a little bit closer, but I don't think it was enough. Oh my gosh. Connor Christensen.
Same guy, don't worry about it.
Oh my gosh, I am just...
I've never seen them both in the same place at the same time. We might have to if he wins.
I can't. But here we go, is Connor Christensen in the lead, Thwanwat in the chase, and they are off.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Connor Christensen, Team OTM in the lead. in the S14. Thunawat Thunny right in the chase. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact there. Connor trying to get the car back to angle. No, he's just going to leave it there the way it is. Thunawat, good job not making that worse than what it was. Right on the wall, Connor Christensen. He just knows where the rear end of that car is at all times. So aware of the wheelbase of that machine. Thunawat trying to get to the door, goes a little bit shallow on the outer zone number 2. Not looking super set. Tire off there for Thunawat. Unfortunately, I think, Joe, we are not going to see the deep tournament run from Thunny the Honey that we did in Terra.
We're ready to go. Slide it left for Thwanawat, Wong Fu is in. Slide it right for Connor Christensen. Keep it in the middle for an OMT. 1 for an OMT. 2 for an OMT. And a unanimous OMT. So we will see these 2 S chassis do battle again.
I think it came down to Connor's initiation fusion.
And here we go. We are lined up. Forget that first battle completely. And we're ready to go again. But the nerves are still there as they are jockeying, trying to roll into position. You can tell they're nervous now. And here we go. Lights out. Both S chassis ripping through that start gate. Big angle from Thwanawat on that initiation. Connor Christensen keeping it right on the door, though. Trying to match angle as best as he can. Thwanawat trying to put himself right up on that wall. Connor Christensen now is definitely tightening up his chase from where it was in last run. And I think he's finally put all the pieces together. Gonna go and try to take on Steve Jarrow in the next round. And I think overall, Thwanawat and Fusan doing the same run he did last time. And Connor Christensen really bringing the heat. Not giving himself as much of a run up as last time. Let's see what happens. Oh my gosh.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Second battle of this 3D Rap group number 4. Steven Jarbo in the 3D Rap R33. That's cute. Moved on already. This is deciding who he will be battling against. Thunawat, Thunny the Honey in the chase position. Connor Christensen in the lead. Thunawat looking like he wanted to get aggressive with the initiation there, but just mistimed it a little bit. Turned out it worked okay for him. Actually, I say that missed the touch and go of Thunawat Wamfuishin. He needs to put all the pressure on Connor Christensen and then some. But if anybody's used to having someone ride his door, it is Connor Christensen. You can check out Team On The Mountain on any of their social media. They're always door-to-door, very comfortable with being close in Assetto Corsa in sim drifting. Thunawat trying to force some sort of mistake from Connor, but Connor is not having any of it.
I could see. And we do have a call in here. This time it is a lot more, there's a lot more agreement with our judges here. So we're going to have a slide left for Thwanawat Wong Fusan, slide right for Connor Christensen. Keep it in the middle for an OMT. 1 for Connor Christensen. 2 and 3 for Connor Christensen. A unanimous decision for the On The Mountain driver, moving on to battle Steven Jarbo in the top 8. Top 16. That's it.
It's been a long day, my friend. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Second battle or third battle of this group. Austin Zalewski, another OTM member, going against Pavel Gunn, and both these guys need good days. Let's see what they can do here.
As here we go, Austin Zalewski in the lead, Pavel Gunnan in the chase, putting that S15 right on that Supra's door through the first corner, giving enough space for the transition. Let's see if they both stay out of the wall. Pavel Gunnan super committed. Ooh, the wall. A little tap from Austin Zalewski, but it doesn't really seem to upset him just that much. And again, now Pavel Gunnan dropping tires when Austin Zalewski did not. But will that wall tap come into discussion later? I think we're going to have to see the second battle here. Both drivers, I'm sure, ready to just get it over with and see what their fate is, because I don't know about you, but when I'm competition driving, I hate waiting on the line.
Yeah, it's time to go for Austin Zalewski and Pavel Gunnan. Only one of these guys can move on in the tournament. This is your second to last top 32 battle. A little bit of a separation from Pavel Gunnan, but he gets the line perfect. Austin Zalewski had to catch up a little bit there, but now he's to the door. Pavel going to push into the wall, does not make the same mistake that Pavel did. I think he's got to know he's sitting on a bit of an advantage here. Pavel, actually big slowdown. Good job from Austin to not make contact. Was a little bit shallow on that second outer zone is Austin Zalewski, but right to the door of the Simware Racing Machine is OTM A to Z. Did he just seal a top 16 berth?
And here we go, Austin Zalewski. We're going to slide it right for Pavel Gunnan. We're going to keep it in the middle for an OMT. 1 for Austin Zalewski. 2 for Austin Zalewski, securing him the win, and 3 for Austin Zalewski for the culture. A unanimous decision, moving him into the top 16. But who will he battle? No way.
No, that never happens.
That never. As Ryan Aldino will be leading Brandon Gardner. Super excited to see this battle. And here we go. Ryan Aldino in the lead. Brandon Gardner in the chase. Big right angle from both drivers. Ryan Aldino slowing up a little bit, and Brandon Gardner having to apply more angle mid-corner to avoid contact. Coming through, Ryan Aldino really shallow coming out to this zone. Brandon Gardner going deeper almost everywhere this entire run. Not as much angle on this power alley. I don't know what else to call it there on the track. And we're coming through, and again, Brandon Gardner, it's just... I don't know what the right word is. He seemed kind of like a shadow. Back up. It seems like Ryan Aldino is giving himself a large run up here to try and keep up with that giant Infinity. For some reason, I was going to say Lexus, and that really felt bad to me.
Oh, the D1 GP fans would have been real mad about that one.
Gosh.
Don't you make fun of my judging robot? Anyway, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Big initiation for Brandon Gardner. Not so much for Ryan Aldino. When you have the lead car initiate that aggressively, early transition for Ryan. Does a great job not straightening out, but that car needs more angle in it, needs more angle in it now. He's all in contact with Brandon Gardner. It's all falling apart for JX teams. Ryan Aldino in the chase position. I don't think Brandon was off throttle or anything. There may have been a little bit of lag. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're in the North American server here, and Ryan drive.
We'll slide left for Ryan Aldino, slide right for Brandon Gardner. Keep it in the middle for an OMT. 1, 2, and 3 for Brandon Gardner. Moving on, and he'll be taking on Austin Zalewski. But first, we must have Steven Jarbo up.
You see you guys back here for the conclusion of what has been beyond an exciting season.
And here we go. So we are lined up. Steven Jarbo in the lead. Connor Christensen in the chase. 2 very good drivers. I don't think we've seen them drive against each other yet, but I bet we will have a good show for everyone right now. Steven Jarbo, big, snappy initiation. Connor Christensen struggling to keep up with that R33 through that first corner. Does Steven Jarbo have a trick up his sleeve that is just pure speed? It kind of seems like he might, but Connor Christensen working it out by the time they get to that outside zone through the final transition, and almost the last place for any real drama to happen as Connor Christensen tucks right onto Steven Jarbo's door. Steven Jarbo unflappable. He's not even cheating back. He's so confident. Up against Connor Christensen. Oh my gosh. That's a level of confidence, and lights out and away we go.
Jump from Steven Jarbo. He's going to have to lift to let Connor go. Let's see what happens here. This could be doom. Good entry from Connor. Steven going to be kind of in a middle line. That's not going to set him up well for the run up the hill. He's got to gain a little bit of ground here, and he does. So now both of these drivers sitting on a similar mistake in their chase. Let's see what Steven can do to force something from Connor here, who is looking so comfortable in this lead position. As I say that, maybe didn't get all of the angle on outer zone number 2, but Steven Jarbo on the power, but not able to get right to the door. He was very close. An 86 would have put you 40th. So it's actually silly how close these guys are getting now, but there is a decision here.
We do have a call. We'll slide it left for Steven Jarbo, slide it right for Connor Christensen, keep it in the middle for an OMT. So 1 for an OMT, 1 for Connor Christensen, and 2 for Connor Christensen, moving him on to our next battle, which will, I don't know the word for it. And here we go.
That's how you know it works.
Yeah, right. Austin Zalewski, Brandon Gardner, take 2. Okay. And now they are both far more aggressive. Austin Zalewski right on that inside clip, but Brandon Gardner right on his door again. Both drivers going right as deep as they can to this wall. There we go. Austin Zalewski now putting a lot more stank
mistake.
on it. Ooh, because now they're scared of that spot of the track, and we are coming through. Great angle from both drivers through this last zone, and across the line, they are driving hard now. I'll tell you.
Good time to use that reset, but unfortunately, Brandon going to be sitting on a couple of mistakes, but nothing he can't work over here. We need to run a strong lead run from Brandon, or from Austin. Yeah, from Brandon. Gardner in the lead. Austin kind of giving him a bit of space here. Wondering if he knows he's sitting on a bit of an advantage, or maybe just being a little conservative considering what happened in the lead up to that first run, but really aggressive on the door. Maybe not filling all the zone is Austin Zalewski, but using everything to make sure he doesn't get gapped by that lead infinity of Brandon Gardner. Brandon, strong lead run right now, but is it too little too late as Austin Zalewski getting about as close as you can get without making contact to try to seal the
again. As we're gonna go slide him left for Austin Zalewski, slide him right for Brandon Gardner, keep him in the middle for an OMT. Dyke votes for an OMT. Brady goes for Brandon Gardner. Where will Wes go? To Brandon Gardner as well, moving on, and he will be taking on Connor Christensen. So we will
points. So a good day from him too would not be unwelcome. So we'll have to see what happens here. This is your last preliminary battle, and the winner of this will be joining our other 3 finalists in the Traxion Final Four.
And here we go. Connor Christensen in the lead, Brandon Gardner in the chase. Big angle from Connor Christensen, but Brandon Gardner unfazed, trying to tuck right up to that S14's door, but it seems like he needs a little bit more distance to do it, and there we go. Up on the wall, but again, it just seems like Connor Christensen always has just a little bit more speed for Brandon Gardner through the midsection of every corner. And again, coming on through, Connor Christensen now choking up just a little bit to get through that last corner and across the line. On fire with all of the adrenaline going through their body right now.
And here we go, second battle of this top 8 battle. Brandon Gardner now going to be in the lead, and Connor Christensen giving chase. Connor kind of, I'm not really sure what, I think again, just initiated a little bit too early, and he's going to cause some separation, but it worked out for him in the past. Maybe a tire off there for Connor Christensen in the chase, but right on the door of Brandon Gardner. Really close transitions. Opening up a little bit more of a gap now as he's going to close it in. Not entirely consistent on his gap, but right to the door at the last corner of Brandon Gardner. Was that enough to seal the deal, or is Brandon Gardner going to join?
We're going to slide him left for Connor Christensen. Slide it right for Brandon Gardner. Keep it in the middle for an OMT. And who will be moving on to fill that final slot of our Final Four? Slide 1 for Brandon Gardner. 2 for Brandon Gardner and 3 for Brandon Gardner. Unanimous decision. Moving on to our Final Four, and that finishes out our Group 4 here, Keenan.
So drivers that so much beef, not beef, but like the CarX guy's this, the CarX guy's that, but he's one of those drivers that's out here saying CarX Schmarx, I can do it in anything. And Zach O'Sullivan, one of the staples of ESDA. Both these guys looking for a W here to move on to the finals.
And here we go. Vitali, big angle, catching Zach O'Sullivan a little bit off guard, but Zach is settling right on down in his chase, getting right up on that door of that S15, leaving a little tiny space, but I think that might be okay if he can assume that he really can walk on Vitali as he has previously. But other than that, Vitali is laying down a flawless lead run, and Zach O'Sullivan is just staying right back, cool, calm for it.
I'm here for the second run of this battle. Again, winner will be going into the finals. Loser will be battling for 3rd place against the right side of the bracket, and we'll get you introduced to them in just a minute. But to get there, we still need to see Vitali Essev go against Zach O'Sullivan, S15 versus Mark IV Supra. A little bit farther back from Vitali, grabbing a little bit of that inside curb there. Zach, nice and fluid in the lead position so far. So much smoke pouring off the rear ends of these cars. So much throttle at this track. Maybe a little bit shallow from Vitali in the second part of the course as we move into the final third. A little bit early off the zone, both these drivers. Lots of tire drop there for Vitali. And I think maybe it was an exciting chase, but I think maybe
we do have a call in here between the battle of the two titans, Zach O'Sullivan and Vitali Isaev. Slide it left for Zach, slide it right for Vitali. Keep it in the middle for an OMT. We have 1 for Zach O'Sullivan, 2 for Zach O'Sullivan, and 3 for Zach O'Sullivan, securing him a spot in the final rounds and securing him a podium position. But that is not the last we will be seeing of Vitali. He will go on, and
2 very different reasons. 1 to continue the momentum and 1 to swing the momentum in his direction.
And we will see which one reigns supreme after this. So Darius Ostrika in the lead, Brandon Gardner in the chase. Big angle from Darius off the initiation, but Brandon Gardner sucking that S15 right on up into that first outside zone, coming through into this wall section. Again, lots of not many drivers falling victim to that wall, but here is where it seems to be the do or die moment. Tire drops right here, but on my screen at least, Darius Ostreka and Brandon did not drop a tire off at all, and a very, very clean run from both drivers.
Of the bracket, and these two drivers is your Big Duck Club winner of your group number 3 and your 3D Wrap winner of your group number 4. Only one of them can make it into the final. Here we go. Much more aggressive start for Darius Ostreka in his chase position. Right on the door of Brandon Gardner. I think if he wants to move on in this competition, he cannot let Brandon go anywhere. And he's doing a great job of that right now. Right on the door of that big Infiniti Q60. Brandon's going to pull away just a little bit as they get on power here. You hear Darius trying to rev up his S15. Not really having the room, but really aggressive still on the door of Brandon Gardner. Nice and consistent. You know what, Joe? That reminds me a lot of Zach O'Sullivan's run. Maybe could have got a little bit closer in some of the slower corners, but saying, you know, in the world.
And we do have a call here. So we'll slide it left for Darius Ostreka, slide it right for Brandon Gardner. Keep him in the middle for an OMT. 1 for Darius Ostreka, 2 for Darius, and 3 for Darius Ostreka. So Darius Ostreka will go on to battle Zach O'Sullivan in the finals. But first, we will have Vitaly Isayev battle Brandon Gardner. Let's see what happens here as they are lined up.
So both these guys fighting for the final spot on the podium, Joe. We're going to find out who gets it here as the run starts here for our third place battle.
As Vitaly Isayev in the lead, Brandon Gardner in the chase. Huge angle. A little bit of a washout from Brandon Gardner. Unfortunate. That might be enough of an issue to throw it all the way right now. And now he's just going to put the power down and put the pressure onto Vitaly, trying to force any form of an error. See if he can get Vitaly to drop tires, which is not the case through that last transition. Cutting inside and across the line, door to door. Brandon doing it to force an error out of Vitaly, but I think Vitaly might stay back as just the littlest bit and try to not go too far in any direction.
Well, here we go. Vitaly right on the rear quarter panel of Brandon Gardner to see if he feels the need to force the issue here. He does not. Still close. Brandon Gardner with a bit of a checkup. He straightens out, a little bit of contact, keeps it going. Both drivers stay in it. Vitaly Isayev has to be smelling the weakness coming from Brandon Gardner right now. So I just saw that mistake. I'm going to see if I can put pressure on him and force him into another one. But if anything, Brandon Gardner pulling away a little bit. I don't know if he's taking an angle out of the car. Vitaly is just playing it safe. More contact from Vitaly Isayev. Both these drivers fighting hard for third place overall.
And across the line, what's done is done. Now it's all up to the judge.
Darius has been riding this momentum in the last half of the season. He's been doing incredibly well. Zach, not having the season he's hoped for, is looking to end ESDA with a statement.
And he is lined up, ready to go here. And Zach O'Sullivan starting a little bit back from Darius, hoping, just trying to get any amount of speed, trying to eke out any advantage. Big angle, here we go. Darius Ostreka in the lead. Zach O'Sullivan pulling angle out. Oh no! That again, like we saw, that might be enough before. We don't know. It's just crazy. Every now and then, the driving is so close. The tiniest mistakes like that will negate the rest of a run. That is an amazing run from Zach O'Sullivan. Darius Ostreka, very confident in the lead. Do you think he noticed the mistake in corner number 1?
I mean, if he didn't notice, Ostreka. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Final battle. They could go one more time, but final battle here for ESDA round number 6 from Fuji Speedway, presented by Traxion. Zach O'Sullivan, the JSI Mark IV Supra in the lead. The IRTA S15 of Darius Ostreka, last one's winner, trying to go 2 for 2. Just needs a solid chase here. Zach needs to pull something out of his hat in the lead position. Darius Ostreka not afraid to get close. Zach O'Sullivan almost going backwards, bouncing off the back wall. I said he needed to pull something out of his hat. He is throwing everything at this run right now, but I don't think it's going to be enough. If Darius Ostreka could just stay there, stay consistent, contact between the two drivers. Zach pushing out wide, but keeping all 4 on the track. Ladies and gentlemen, your final battle. Wow. Yeah. Being able to even make Final 4 here, he must be happy about that too.
Yeah, for sure. So I think we should announce some results here, Keenan. And I don't know about you, but when in Rome, right?
When in Rome.
We find ourselves here at the podium. So I in third place between Brandon Gardner and Vitaly Isayev. Vitaly Isayev takes third place third place on the podium. Congratulations to not Harold McKinney, but Vitaly Izaev, third place.
Let's go, Harold. P3.
Let's go.
In your own
P3.
comp. You couldn't rig it any more than that? All right. But yeah, congratulations to Vitaly. Again, a driver we've known that can make that run deep in the field. It just needed a little bit of pixie dust to get this far. So congratulations to Vitaly, and I can't wait to see what he's got in store for us in the finals in round number 7, October 21st, 22nd. However, is there going to be a championship battle in that final? We are about to find out. Darius Ostreka, third place in points. This win would catapult him into third place and knocking on the door of Alexander Element, your points leader. Will Zach O'Sullivan be taking the win? Currently 17th in points, trying to get his name farther up that leaderboard. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner today from ESDA round number 6 here at Fuji Speedway, presented by Traxion after a long, hard-fought afternoon, is going to be Darius Ostreka, going 2 for 2 for Erta Esports, completely nowhere at the beginning of the season, and then turning it around to make a championship run at round number 7. What a back half of the season for Darius Ostreka.
Well, back-to-back wins for Darius Ostreka. And are we going to have any conversations with anyone?
I'm going to try.
I'm always happy to have a conversation with anybody. You know me, I like new friends.
I'm not sure how good Kem's English is, him being Ukrainian. I know we can talk to Zach, and I know we can talk to Darius.
Well,
I definitely want to talk to Darius. I'm gonna do some tagging here. Do some pokey pokes.
So I'm getting a confirmation that if I assault Kem, he'll talk to me.
I feel like if anyone's gonna talk to Kem, it's got to be you.
I mean, I'm gonna force him to, but I know that Harold's having a conversation with him real quick. Yeah. So let's see here. Do we want to jump up to like a second place? We can come back, hit third place. You know the deal.
I'm just letting them know that they're going to get interviewed. But ladies and gentlemen, we can talk to our winner, Darius Ostreka, who went 2 for 2 in the last 2 rounds. Just pulling him in the booth here now. Darius Ostreka going from not qualifying in round number 1 to back-to-back wins. I mean, I don't think I know how you're feeling, but how are you feeling today, my friend?
Oh my God. Again, amazing, you know.
Nice to talk to you again.
Yes. Hello. Yeah, yesterday I was driving with my setup, you know, and today I driving tendons, and I see it's not like my day, you know, and I take my brother's setup, and oh my God, again I go to door, you know. That was amazing, yeah.
I was gonna say, again, kind of not the ideal start for the season for you, and now it's looking like you will be the man to challenge Alexander Element for a championship in our final round. What is your mindset going into round number 7?
I don't know. You know, last we can remember last season in the first round, second round, I was like top 16 and top 32, and this round and this season was I don't know what can I say.
And it's not just been you, it's been the entire Erta team that has completely stepped up. You guys took over the team championship, are now leading it by at least 50 points. Is there anything that changed behind the scenes with Erta Esports for this late season resurgence?
No, everything it's the same.
Yeah, I mean, if it works. Like 2 wins back to back, Darius Ostreka. I know you mentioned your brother a little bit with the setup help, but if there's anybody you want to say thank you to, now's the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's fair, man.
Sorry, man.
I'm sure we're going to hear from you again around number 7. Again, congratulations. 2 wins on the trot. Enjoy it, my friend.
Thank you.
I think Darius might be as tired as we are.
I think he definitely is. But let's work our way down. So let's go pull ourselves.
I'm gonna see if we can talk to Zach for the first time this year.
We lost a Kem.
Yeah, it's all right. You work on that. I'll see if I can get some words out of this bozo. Zach O'Sullivan.
Hello.
About time. First of all, where have you been?
I've just been trying to develop this chassis a little bit more again after some changes. I started out the season with some slightly different stuff data-wise that really threw off the way the car drove and what I was originally used to coming from VDC. So I've made some changes back prior to Taratanga, and going into Taratanga I was going to try it. I had some things come up so I couldn't make that round. So this is my first time actually driving with this car set back up to exactly how it was my previous last year VDC season. So this is 100% my VDC car data-wise, and it definitely showed that it's way better. So I've just been working on stuff.
I was gonna say, not the you were a regular season champion last year. Unfortunately, with the playoff format, it didn't really play into your hand. But not the best start to your season. But even just looking at your performances, they've been getting consistently better. That data change helped, but is it helping your confidence with your driving too? Because even watching you on the track, it looked like a different driver from the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is that I've already have a whole season on this setup that the car has right now, so I already know going into it, like every change I make, I already know what it's going to make the car do prior to what I had at the start of the season. But honestly, like at the start of the season, man, like trying out this new stuff and that, I saw it just wasn't going how I wanted it to, and it didn't feel too good. So I'm not really shooting for a win or anything too crazy in the championship. I'm just using the rest of the season as a development platform to try to get the chassis as good as I can and go into VDC with it, and then come back next season ESDA hopefully with like a complete proper recipe for this car that's gonna take me hopefully back to another championship.
I was gonna say, yeah, I mean, it's paying off in dividends here now. Kind of ticked all the boxes on things I wanted to hear from you. I was going into round 7. What's the mindset? But it's I don't think we've announced the track yet, though it's kind of a really poorly kept secret. But somewhere that you're a little bit more familiar with when it comes to tracks that are on our schedule. Just trying to develop the car. Are we trying to go rounds and make another Final Four?
Yeah, I mean, going into round 7, you know, I'm going to try to see if I can pull another what I did today and try to get another podium or even a win or something like that. But honestly, I'm just out here to I'm pulling a Chelsea de Nova. I'm just here to have fun. Honestly, today I have no running in the points for a championship. I have no option but to have fun just doing this. So I just kept that mindset and didn't really have to worry about dropping in points or losing a spot and losing the championship. It's just I'm just here having fun, honestly, and just developing my car.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually the best mindset when it comes to drifting. You're less in your own head and can just focus on the task at hand. But congratulations, Zach. I know it's not the top step of the podium, but being in the Final Four again after such a tough season for you so far must be good. You're top 10 in points, and I'm sure you've got some people that are helping you behind the scenes with your program as well.
Yeah, of course. You know, obviously I want to thank, you know, my team as always, JSI, Just Slide It. I've been part of these guys for almost 10 years now. I love every single one of them. They've always pushed me to become the driver that I am today on the sim and stuff. Obviously NRG for providing me with my equipment that I need to do it. Prisma Lab for keeping me comfortable when I'm sitting here in my rig doing this competition and whatnot. And yeah, all these people, they really help me out in the sim realm and what I do and stuff, and I really appreciate every one of them. And yeah, and a huge thanks to VDC as well for providing us with proper physics and tires and stuff for us to enjoy these competitions in the most realistic aspect possible.
I'm gonna say, man, from one boomer to another who's been around just as long, it's been nice to see you back up here on the podium, and hopefully we're speaking to you again in round 7.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, that's Zach O'Sullivan, whether you like it or not. In second place, are we able to speak to Vitaly, or is he too busy?
So he said he's too busy being cool and Ukrainian, so it's okay though. I found a wild Brandon Gardner.
Right, maybe he can just do the accent. No.
We'll figure it out. We'll go.
Brandon Gardner in here, and
hello, Brandon Gardner.
Wow.
So I find you standing here in the driver's waiting room. How did the day go for you? How are you feeling?
it's a lot better than it has been the past couple rounds. You know, round what was it, 5? Didn't even qualify. Last round made reserves, got knocked down 32 against the big man Darius again. But you know, I'm feeling a lot better, a lot more confident with myself. So, yeah.
If you're feeling good, that's a good problem to have, correct? So
yes.
Do you have any goals for final round here?
Well, I was in the championship chase, and then after the few pretty bad rounds, I've like slipped out of it. So now I'm just trying to have fun like Zach, and just trying to win events, and not really caring too much about the points, more just trying to win, I guess, in that sort of manner. But yeah.
For sure, a really, really great approach. It seems to be paying off for everyone who's taken that approach, not going to lie. And do you have anybody to shout out, any thank yous, anyone that you want to name by name? You can do anything you want. Here's your time.
All right. I'd like to thank, you know, the good old boys at TSC for helping me out. Boys over at JSI and XC as well for sticking along today. Spawn for me helping. I'd like to thank the new team sponsor, Grip Royal, for stepping up, for helping us out, providing us with some new sim stuff. I'm excited to work with them, do some exciting stuff with them in the future, and I'd like to thank everyone who's been supporting me the past season.
Well, that is excellent. So you have a lovely day and an amazing showing today. Great driving, and thank you for stopping in and saying a few words to us.
Thank you.
So, Keenan, we've done our battles.
Our battles are over.
We've determined a winner.
And that winner, of course, Darius Ostrega. The points were being updated in the background. So let you guys know what the situation is. So currently, Mustafa is at 334 points. Austin Zalewski technically has a shot with 290 points. But that would basically mean Element's not qualifying. And considering he's qualified every single round so far, that's incredibly unlikely. So Austin Zalewski's in the hunt, but only by technicality. Deshaun Hack, because he was not here this round, went from second in points to fifth and is out of the championship hunt. But right behind Alexander Element with 380 points is your double round winner, Darius Ostrega. So he's got just under 40 points to make up in round 7. However, with the amount of momentum he's been having and the amount of momentum that Alexander Element has not had in these past couple of runs, and another thing to take into account here too, Joe, is Alex hasn't won a round. No. He's just been consistent, but that consistency has been slowly falling off the last couple of rounds. So Darius going into round number 7 with all the momentum, Element going into round number 7 with maybe not momentum, but the points lead. It is going to be an interesting finale at round number 7, October 21st, 22nd, here on TraxionGG.
And I cannot wait. And that will be our final battle. But man, what a day of battles. I don't know what else to say, but thank you to all of the drivers, everybody in chat as well. I cannot wait for this final round.
I'm just going to see if Harold wants to get a word in here before you sign off. Usually he likes to come in and say one thing, and I want to say something at the end. Oh, there he is. Harold McKinney. Tough day. It seems like I'm saying that every round now, but tough day. But we had a winner, Darius Ostrega, 2 wins in a row. And realistically, 4 or 5 guys who can take the championship round 7.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good finale. All of Erda has brung it strong these last 2 rounds. They got a big lead in the team standings, which I have to update, but they got a big lead in the team standings. And Darius is honestly, it came from almost the bottom to almost the top of the point standing.
And I mean, Fuji, not a place we've been before. We went to Ebisu last year, and kind of sticking with the tracks that a lot of us over here in North America would recognize from competitive Japanese drifting. As a track, and especially as a judge too, I'm just wondering what your thoughts are with the event today and how it played out.
I think it played out really good today. I think it was a little bit, personally, just me being an ex-driver, I thought the track was really easy, and it showed that a lot of these guys caught onto the track really quick. They drove it really well today, made for some really close battles, and made for some really hard calls for me as a judge today. I felt like the track, it was really good, it did its justice. I thought it was really well, and also to the audience, this track should be live on to our great partner at Vosan. Thank you to Matt also at Vosan for, you know, staying up late, 'cause it's late over there for him, for sticking out and making sure the tracks go live immediately at the end of the round. I guess transitioning into that, I'd like to thank all the sponsors from Traxion, from 3D Rap, Next Level, Moza, BC, and also to you guys as well. You guys did a great job commentating. Thanks to the judges, from Wes filling in for Swirly and Nathan today, Brady, and also big thanks to Steve he's doing a good job on the marketing end of this. So he's really helped me turn this competition into something much better.
And speaking of Steve, I think he kind of spoiled it a little bit. He didn't say where, but we did have some cool announcements for round number 7. We're partnering up with a charity raising some awareness for mental health, and we'll be running a campaign throughout the entirety of round number 7, both qualifying and our top 32 battles as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this next. I guess I can, I guess you can say it got leaked a little bit. I guess we can go ahead and fully announce it. Yes, we are doing a round 7 charity. I think it's really awesome. It also helps benefit, to the cause and everything that, that with mental health and, everybody that's going through those tough times. So I think this charity event for the last round will be really huge. I guess transitioning, I know you're going to ask me about the where we're going to next round, the next round location. So we will be coming back home to the United States. So just stay tuned to what track we announce for that. And I can't wait. This is going to be really good. I can't wait because I think the charities are going to like it, and everybody, to the sponsors and the drivers, are going to like it as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we talked about it while we were kind of spitballing this idea a few months ago, that mental health is something that kind of is significant to almost every driver we've spoken to about it, everybody on the staff. So it's very cool to be able to kind of give back to an organization like Safe in Our World, which we will be partnering up with. But I'm assuming you've checked all your boxes off, Di, for the day, but thank you for all the hard work behind the scenes, and thank you for having built what you've built this year.
Yeah, it's not only me, man. It's you guys that came in and helped. Also, like I said, Steve, all of Team Zen. You guys came in and, I could say, bailed me out this year. So, but yeah, it's not only a me effort, and it's a we effort. So I'd like to thank you guys, and for continuing to help me and help push this.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude round number 6. This is going to be my last round being in the booth with you guys. I'm stoked to have Ian back in the round for round number 7. He's going to be taking my place. Unfortunately, I'll be out of town. So in a little bit of a soapbox here, it's been really cool to be the voice of the series once again this season, and to have all your guys' support and so many new people joining us, whether it be driving, watching. I was stoked to get Traxion on board as well. Yep. Not just for this series, but for other things, of the Pro Throwdown we have on Monday, Media Day. No matter what ideas we had for Traxion, they're like, cool, let's do it. So they've been an awesome media partner for us this year. It's been awesome to see the two things that I love kind of come together and work together to bring this awesome thing to you. So you might not be hearing from me again this season, but you'll be seeing me in the chat just like everybody else around number 7 from the United States of America is all we're allowed to tell you, apparently. Thank you to all of our supporters. Thank you to all of our sponsors. And on behalf, actually, you know what, Joe, I'll give you a second. I think we're all in agreement that we're ready to go do anything else right now.
I have said everything I've wanted to say to everybody here, but thank you for having me. This has been such a lovely round.
It's been a pleasure sharing the booth with you, my friend. It's been a heck of a year, going from colleagues to friends, I think.
Oh, I have. Oh, for sure. And I have a feeling this will not be the last time we find ourselves in a booth together.
No, I think maybe next time it won't be locked and we won't be held in here at gunpoint.
They really need looser handcuffs.
But on that note, thank you, everybody. And on behalf of the entire ESDA team, our sponsors, and everybody who supports us, thank you for watching. And we will see you October 21st and 22nd for ESDA round number 7, the championship round, and benefit of Safe in Our Worlds. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for joining us. Keep it pinned, and we will see you next time.